60,000 of gallons of fuel in a wing. Say it out loud, and it sounds absurd. Say it to a pilot, and they'll nod. Yep, that's how jets work. The problem isn't the number, it's that people aren't told the rest of the story, how aircraft are engineered to carry that mass, why fuel mostly sits in the wings, and why viral theories about gel fuel, or no fuel at all, don't hold up. Stay with me. By the end, you'll understand the how, the why, and what to look for next time a clip claims planes can't possibly store their own fuel. Start with the numbers. Big long-haul jets like the Boeing 747 are rated for tens of thousands of gallons of jet fuel, roughly 50,000 to 63,000 gallons for the largest models. That sounds wild until you remember the fuel is part of the airplane's structure, not a giant external tank. Where does it go? Mostly in the wings, with some in center or tail tanks, depending on model. Designers use wing volume deliberately because it's efficient. Placing fuel there balances the plane and reduces bending loads. The wing is built to be hollow and sealed, with compartments that prevent slosh. The fuel isn't hidden, it's built into the airplane's bones. But the wing looks thin, people say. How can it hold that much? A jet's wing isn't flat sheet metal. It's a deep box stretching hundreds of feet. Inside are spars, ribs, and open chambers that form large tanks. Multiply that space by the density of fuel, and you get those massive capacities. Properly engineered, the same structure that generates lift also carries fuel safely. Elegant efficiency, not deception. Now the heavy lift reality check. Jet fuel is heavy. A few dozen thousand gallons translates into hundreds of thousands of pounds. Aircraft are designed for that. The wing, spars, and fuselage are structurally sized for maximum takeoff weight that includes full fuel. The surprising part for outsiders is that a big chunk of an airplane's maximum weight budget on long-haul flights is fuel, and that's intentional. You wouldn't design a plane to carry fuel somewhere inconvenient. You'd put it near the center of lift and within the strongest structure. That's the wings. Next, how do you get that volume into the tanks without filling the whole apron with hoses for hours? There are standard aviation refueling systems for that. Airports use refueling trucks with meters and pumps, or fixed hydrant systems that push fuel under pressure from airfield tanks to refueling points on the ramp. For large long-haul jets, a single-point pressure refueling panel is used. Hoses attach and push fuel into the tanks under controlled pressure. Some aircraft also have provisions for over-wing gravity refueling on smaller tanks, but the routine at major airports is fast, metered, and highly regulated. The image of someone slowly pouring thousands of gallons into a wing is just not how it's done. Which brings us to the internet's favorite detours, the gel theory and the no fuel theory. Neither stands up. The jet fuel is actually a gel claim, misunderstands chemistry and logistics. Jet A, the common commercial fuel, is a kerosene-type liquid designed to flow at altitude temperatures and atomize cleanly in turbine engines. It stores energy by mass and can be pumped, filtered, and metered. If it were a gel, you'd need radically different pumps, filters, heaters, and engines, and we'd see that in every maintenance manual and airport refueling truck. You don't. Major fact-checkers and industry experts have examined these claims and found them baseless. Planes run on liquid hydrocarbon fuels today, period. Then there's no fuel meme. The idea that airplanes are powered some other way, and fuel is just theater. That's a classic viral claim. It's sensational, easy to share, and impossible to reconcile with physics. Jet engines produce thrust by burning fuel in a controlled way inside combustors. Thermodynamics and the physics of propulsion are not optional. Flight records, maintenance logs, tanker fuel deliveries, and fuel weight calculations in performance planning all depend on the existence and consumption of fuel. Again, this is standard aerospace engineering, not an illusion. Anyone who's worked in airline operations will tell you the same. Fuel planning and monitoring is one of the most boringly precise parts of flying because lives depend on it. If the wing holds the fuel and refueling is done via hydrant or trucks, why do some people see gaps or different hoses? Because refueling lines, drain points, and maintenance access are placed for practical reasons. sometimes on the right wing, sometimes through a single-point panel in the fuselage, sometimes through multiple hoses for speed. Big planes may be fed from 2 carts at once to have fueling time. That's logistics, not a cover-up. The fueling systems are redundant and carefully monitored. Flow meters, filters, grounding wires to prevent static, and deadman switches are standard procedure on every fueling event. If anything, fueling is one of the most observed, regulated, and audited processes on the ramp. Let's talk safety. Why put a volatile liquid in the wings? Paradoxically, wings are safer. In a crash, wing tanks are often better protected than fuselage tanks. And by placing fuel outboard, designers reduce stress on the fuselage and help maintain stability as fuel burns off. Modern tanks have multiple baffles to prevent slosh, venting to equalize pressure, and inerting systems in some aircraft to reduce flammability risk. Again, this is engineering layering safety onto convenience. So when you see viral posts asking how 60,000 gallons could fit in a wing, remember, the numbers are real and verified. Wings are fuel tanks by design. Refueling is fast, metered, and regulated. Gel and no-fuel claims ignore physics. The system is built on decades of engineering and oversight. If you wanted to fake all that, you'd need to involve millions of engineers, pilots, mechanics, regulators, and refueling crews, and not one credible whistleblower in a century of flight. That's a harder conspiracy to believe than the truth. For those who want proof, the data's public. Aircraft spec sheets show exact tank layouts. Boeing and Airbus diagrams reveal every valve and pump. Licensed mechanics regularly demonstrate fuel sampling and filtering. Once you see it, the mystery disappears, replaced by boring precision. And that's what keeps people alive at 35,000 feet. So, are wings hiding 60,000 gallons? No, they're designed to hold it. Are there engineering reasons that make this the best place for fuel? Absolutely. Do viral claims about gels or fake fuel hold up in technical manuals or regulatory documents? Not once. If you want to question something real, question fuel pricing or environmental impact, not physics. You can stay skeptical and still demand facts. That's how real truth-seeking works. If you stayed with this deep dive and you're not asleep, you already know what to do. Hit the link in the description and join our free underground newsletter.